Hello and welcome to DTCC 2023 season 7 round 8. Hopefully this is coming through loud and clear. So we've got one watching, so come and say hello in the chat. Let me know the audio is working okay. This is very long awaited because I think we finished the season well over a month ago. Morning, Dad. Morning. Evening, Dad. I'm in Las Vegas time. Alex is in the chat as well. Good evening. Yeah, we actually finished the season back in, it's over a month ago. So this is the long-awaited Super Formulas at Suzuka. So the usual DTCC type format where we have one or more endurance races amongst a mix of Group 3, Group 4s. And then we had in round 4, we had the Radicals of Goodwood as well. So this is the endurance race. So this is Super Formulas at the mighty Suzuka. 28 laps. Different rules in terms of tyres for tonight. The only tyre requirement here is that the drivers must use the hard at some point in the race. They can use it for as many or little laps as they like, but they must use the hard at some point. And the other requirement was all the liveries must be classic F1. So we'll see some very mighty fine liveries tonight, all except mine, bizarrely. Mine isn't working. Hence why we're a little bit late, because I kept trying to replay the replay to get mine to work, and it doesn't. So mine's going to be the bog standard one, but everyone else's cars will look very nice. I promise you that mine was a very lovely looking Leighton House from 1988. Right, so usual format though in terms of grid. We had one-shot qualifying, and the 5 fastest go to the back. So a quick run through the grid. So on pole is Daz in his 1991 Jordan. This will be fun trying to guess the year. So he was 6th fastest in qualifying. So Daz is on pole. Then second is Mike in his, I think, 2002 Arrows. Looks pretty good. He's second. He was 7th quickest in qualifying, so he's second. Then Alex in, oh, that's hard to tell from that view, which is pretty rubbish. I think that is a, let's see if I can get a better view. Oh, that's terrible. I reckon that's a 1976 Tyrrell. Alex is in the chat. You can let me know if I'm right or not. It's got definitely mid-70s Tyrrell. Then Dan in the very famous brawn-coloured Super Formula. These are the Hondas from 2009. Yeah, I know it's a Tyrrell, Alex. What year? Give me the year. I reckon that's 76. Right, so yeah, Dan is in the brawn. That's the 2 brawns. Which coincidentally is the new Disney Plus documentary that I think came out yesterday. Worth a watch, I hear. Right, so then we've got Wayne in Red Bull, and I'll have no idea what Red Bull year that is because they all look the same. A Red Bull of some kind. Then we got James, who was 5th quickest in qualifying, so he is in another brawn. There we go, that's a better view. Then Andy is in a, I think 2005, 6 or 7, or maybe even 71. Really? Was it 71? Alex says it was a 71 Tyrrell. Cool. That was miles out. Oh, I like the Johnson on the back. That's cool. I hadn't noticed that. Very nice. Right, see some great liveries here. So Andy is in his probably mid to late 2000s McLaren. Then me in the, what was the Leighton House 1988, but it hasn't worked for some reason. This is not my replay. I'm using Andy's replay, so that's probably why, bizarrely. And then we got Chris Rains in a probably 2002-ish, 2003 Williams. And then finally, season champion, it's been confirmed with a race to go. Chris in probably a 96 Williams, Alex saying 71, Jackie Stewart, which is also number 11. There you go. Right, so that's the grid. We've got 10 drivers tonight. A few, I think, didn't fancy Super Formulas around Suzuka. This is a very tough combo, Super Formulas and Suzuka. Suzuka, one of the hardest tracks in the world, and the Super Formulas are not easy to drive. So we have 28 drivers, 28 laps. It'd be great to have 28 drivers. 28 laps around Suzuka, and say the only mandatory tyre is hards, but the tyre deg is quite hard here. So we'll have a quick rundown actually of the tyres. Let's have a quick look. Let's just have a quick chat to my mum and dad because I know they like watching it. Right, so Daz is deciding to get his hards out of the way good and early, so he's starting on hards. So is Mike, so is Alex, Dan as well, and Wayne. So all the top 5 are going for hards, which is interesting. James is on softs, Andy's on mediums, Matt's on mediums, Chris is on mediums, and the other Chris is on mediums as well. So interestingly, a big spread of drivers there. Right, anyway, enough of my chat, let's get going. So rolling start for tonight. Been a while since I've done these, a little bit rusty. So here we go. We must weave in a little bit to get some heat into the tyres, and Daz will lead us on the charge down to the very tricky turn 1 and 2. Here we go, lights go green. Daz is away. They've also got the overtake button, which you can see lighting up in red now. Daz is on it already. They've only got a limited amount they can use. Daz is trying to get a bit of a gap, which he does. It looks like everyone's got away. Oh, a little bit of carnage there going in. Looks like Matt's got up to 8th. Chris is up to 9th. And then Chris Rains has dropped down to 10th. Unfortunately, went a bit wide. But Daz leads us as we go through the S's for the first time. Here's Jordan. Nice start from him. Mike's got a decent start as well. It looks like first 3 are all in order. I think Dan is as well. So Wayne is under attack from James, who's also under attack from Andy. Let's go on board with Andy. He's gone past Wayne already. Let's watch this from Wayne's perspective. We go through the deck, which is great. Oh, Wayne's gone wide, unfortunately. He's dropped to the back. Sorry, not Wayne, that's James. So James has dropped to the back. And Daz leads us through the hairpin with a nice big gap. When it looks like Andy's trying to muscle his way past Wayne, which he does, but then that gets him into the way of Little's GP, who's already up to 6th as they go up the hill through the flat sweepers. And look at this, we've got a race between Andy and Chris as we go in the spoon. Who's going to blink first? They're both on medium, and Chris does a nice move around the outside, swooping move around the outside of the first left of spoon. And then we come on to the back straight. Oh, Chris Ray's getting very squiggly as he come onto the back straight to 130R. So we're now in car with Matt. Oh, a bit of a squabble going on between these two. Let's go. Oh, look at that. Oh, let's watch that again. So James and Alex going wheel to wheel. Look at this as they go into 130R, going around the outside. That's a 160-mile corner. Not for the faint-hearted. Try and move around the outside there. But so James Alex having a good squabble. Oh, tail getting wild on Alex's Tyrrell. Right, so Daz crossed the line, got a handsome lead already. Nice opening lap from him. Daz is handy in the Super Formulas. So he's on the hards. He's already pulled a big gap to Mike, who's in 2nd. And we've got Dan, who has already got Chris, championship winner for the 7th straight season, on his tail already. Let's go watch for, as we go through the S's. Let's go watch this. This is quite a good view as we look from the top of the halo. And through Dunlop. Horrible corner as we go into Degner's 1 and 2. That's not usually a passing place. Chris decides better of it. Oh, runs a bit wide there. Does better of it though. So we got Andy's up to 5th. Chris is now up to 6th. He's got Matt behind him. It's, oh, what's gone behind? Oh, looks like Chris got a swapper on. Andy got a swapper. Well, I get this right a minute. Alex will get a swapper on. Let's have a look. So James is a little bit. Oh, there was a bit of carnage ahead there. I know if someone lost it. But James goes a little bit wide coming out of Degner, and oh yeah, he just gets tagged by Alex, who does the right thing and waits for him whilst Wayne goes to build sandcastles that are Digna 2. Good, that's good driving. That's what we'd like to see though. Alex waiting. But back to the front we go. And it looks like Daz has already got a decent lead, as we say. So pulling well clear of Mike. Dan's still fending off Chris. Let's see how long Dan can hang on. So Dan's on the hard, Chris is on the medium. So this should be pretty easy for Chris. They go screaming into 130R for the second time. Chris is right behind that Brawn. I think we can. Oh, it's going to be. Can he outbrake him? I think he has. Chris then shuts the door as they go into Casino Triangle. Oh no! Unfortunately, Dan gets on the power bit too early, and he's into the kitty litter as well. Matt goes through into 6th. It's really annoying that livery isn't working, but we'll ignore that. So Chris is now up to 5th. He's early 2000s Williams, a little bit glitchy. Matt is up to 6th. Dan is down to 7th, and Alex, Wayne. So Wayne's gone past James. So James obviously had a bit of a adventure as well on that lap. So back to the front we go, which is a saying I say quite a lot. Dad's doing a fine job on his hards. Got a nice big lead now. Mike though, also his hards has got Chris right behind him. Chris is absolutely flying. His 96 Hill livery, of course, won the title at this very track, in fact. You might remember, it's a classic Murray Walker quote that he has to stop because he's got a lump in his throat. So he's driving that livery, hoping it'll bring them the same sort of luck. Can't get past the outside of the spoon, I don't think. They'll probably try and set him up. They go, oh, Mike's gone a little bit wide, he's gone very wide. Let's see as he comes back onto the track. Does everyone avoid him? Yes, they do, but unfortunately Mike has dropped down to 6th. Has now got quite a lot of Suzuka kitty litter on his tyres as well, which might take a little while to clean off. Dan's a little bit behind him, so Little's GP is now up to 2nd, and Alex and Andy is very lovely McLaren. He's up to 3rd. Chris is up to 4th. Matt has made it up to 5th. Mike, as we saw, is down to 6th. Dan crosses the line in the first Brawn. He's in 7th. Let's go with Alex. There goes Alex in 8th. James is 9th. He crosses the line in the second Brawn. And here comes Wayne in his Red Bull. Not sure if Wayne was in the chat. He'd tell me what era of Red Bull that was. Right, so to the front, Daz is in the consistent 40s, which is a good pace on his hards, and staying nice and consistent. He's got Chris, so chasing him down. Chris has just done the fastest lap of the race, a 39.2, which compares to a 40.7, so 1.5 seconds quicker, so that's about right. Daz is cracking on nicely at the moment. Andy is also on the mediums, so he's on his PB of a 39.8, so that's 6-7 tenths slower than Chris is doing, and then the other Chris, 39.4, so two Chris's are flying, both in the mid to low 39s. So Matt's done a 40.1. We'll keep an eye on the overtake. So bottom right by the track map, you can see the overtake. So that's basically a sort of KERS boost, and the drivers have got a limited amount they can deploy over the course of the race. So we'll keep an eye on that, because some drivers will choose to use it at different times. Some will use it to attack, some will use it to defend. So Mike there in 6th on his hards. He's used a bit of overtake. That's got a fair bit left. Dan's got lots left. Just done a 42.6. Let's see what he does now. He does a 42.3 on his hards. And here comes Alex doing a high 40s, low 41. So pretty decent times on his hards as well. What's James this? James, boy, is 6 tenths quicker than Alex on that lap, but he's on softs and already starting to wear. You see the softs will not last much more than probably 9 or 10 laps. So it'll be interesting to see what strategies everyone uses. And then Wayne getting to grips on hards. The Super Formula around Suzuka is probably the hardest combination in the game. Right, so Daz is now being caught by Chris. Daz did a 40.9, Chris has done a 38.2, so 2.5 seconds faster. Hards versus mediums and a flying Chris. Let's watch it from Chris's view. Can he get a toe? Let's just go look from the rear wing of Daz's Jordan. Chris is in the toe. Won't get moved down into 130. But he's going to have a go, I think, as we go into Casino. He does. Gets it nicely stopped as well. So Chris is into the lead. Daz is on the overtake, trying to get a good boost out. And we got, next up will be Andy. Andy's on his mediums as well. He'll be trying to claw that gap to Daz. And he'll be trying to get a move done pretty quickly so he doesn't get held up too much, with Daz being on the hards. Let's see what else is going. So we got then Chris in the Williams doing a 38.7, so 4 tenths slower than the fastest. So Chris is flying as well. Got plenty of overtake left. Matt did a 39.2 on that lap, so about a second off the pace. And he's used a fair bit more of his overtake. He's used nearly 3/4, so we'll see how this plays out. Tyres looking roughly about equal between 4th and 5th. And Daz is now being caught. I think this is probably the battle on the track. Yeah, Daz is now being caught by Andy. They come out of the hairpin. Let's go on board with Andy. So we've got Chris not far behind us. As we said, Andy's on the mediums. Daz is on the hards. Now these cars do suffer a lot with understeer when you're in the dirty air of the car in front, so it does actually, around a track like that, Suzuka give you quite an advantage being the lead car. And he's already down at just over half his overtake to come into 130R. Is Andy going to have a move as we go into the chicane? Daz is leaving the door open. Andy decides he's going to try and get there. Oh, looks like a bit of a tangle. Chris is going to get through. Look at that. So Chris has got through. And what's going on here? Matt gets caught up as well. But so Andy's dropped down. So from that move, let's have a watch from his outside. Andy tries to go down the inside for second. A little bit of a tangle between the two of them. Daz goes wide. Andy waits, I think. Or maybe it was just a little bit wide coming out. Oh, that's a terrible view. That's rubbish. Thank you, game. Let's watch from on the halo from Andy's car again. So he tries to make a move down the inside. Daz closes the gap. Then we've got Chris coming through and says thank you very much. Then Matt's watching the whole shenanigans go on and manages to slip down the inside of Andy. I think he's now going to get a run as we go down the main straight. He's going to get a run on Daz as well. So, oh, they're going to go side by side as they go into T1 and T2. Daz thinks better of him. Matt's got the better tyres on. So, unfortunately for Andy, he went from challenging for second down to 5th, and Chris has gone from 4th to 2nd. So, Chris and Matt jumped up 2 places, and that little shenanigans going on at the chicane. So, Daz is down to 4th. Andy's now got to try and do it all over again. He's been jumped by 2 of his medium shod rivals. A bit further back, not that far back, is Dan. He's doing a good job in his brawn, still on the hards, plenty of overtake left. Looks like he's been caught though on the hards by Alex. Alex has done a 40.9, whereas Dan's done a 42.5. So Alex is catching by 1.6 a lap. So we'll keep an eye on that. Both being caught by James, but you can see James's fronts are looking pretty nasty. He's probably only going to get one more lap out of those. And a bit further down, so has Mike been in? I think he has. Mike could well have been in. Yeah, he has, because he started on hards. So Mike's done an early stop to put on some mediums. Had a good start there, unfortunately had that off the spoon, but super easily done in these super formulas. And Wayne plugging away. He's down to the 43s though, so he's getting some pace now, the hards, but he's obviously just had a little bit of an off. Got a bit of front wing damage. Right, so at the front, Chris is still banging in those 38s, 38.8s. Look how consistent that's been. Chris is doing 39s, so he did that 38.7. That now is in the high 39s, as is Matt. So Matt is ever so slightly reeling in the Williams in front of him. Whereas Chris has not used any of his overtake though, which is interesting. So obviously had a perler at lap 5. We're keeping an eye on those two. Oh, we've missed, Andy's got past Daz. Let's see where that was. Alright, so through 130R. Andy goes down the inside. Look at that. Nice move. Very nice move. So Andy's back up to 4th. Daz down to 5th, but say he is on the hards, whereas the guys around him are all on mediums. See if anything else in the chat. No, not yet. Right, so Dan's in 6th, just done his PB. He needs to. He's been caught by still about half a second. Oh, James is doing nicely. He's just gone off at Degner, which is super easy to do. Degner 2 is probably one of the hardest corners on it in the game anywhere. It's super. Oh no, I think his tyres are just gone. So it looks like Mike's going to get up to 8th. Yes, he does. And Mike did indeed stop for mediums. There's James just recovering in 9th, and then Wayne still getting the hang of the car on the track. Oh, and a bit of barrier inspection. Right, so medium's starting to go now, so Chris is down to just about halfway. Oh, Matt's got past. What's happened there? So it looks like Chris has unfortunately had a bit of a. Let's have a look. Looks like he's had a bit of an adventure at the chicane. We come into Casino Triangle. See what happens. Oh yeah, just got on the power that a little bit too quickly. And Daz going to get past as well. Where's Chris? Chris has come back on, so he's been passed by Andy. I think Daz isn't far behind as well. So yeah, just got his rear tyres are starting to go a little bit. Just got on the power a little bit too early. So it's extremely easy to do. He's not running traction control. Neither is Andy. Matt is. Chris isn't. I think Daz is as well. So yeah, it can easily catch you out. Dan isn't running traction control. Alex is, Mike isn't, James isn't, and Wayne is. So jury's out on what's sensible super formula, whether to run traction control or not. Right, so Chris has got a healthy lead now. Matt's up to 2nd, still in the high 39s. Chris is consistently 3/4 of a second faster. Andy's doing low 40s, so Matt and Andy are pretty much on the same pace. And Chris and Daz is doing some good lap times on those hards, so bearing in mind he's getting those hards out of the way. Doing a good job. Let's have a look at the relative mileage. So you see Chris has only done 140 miles in this Super Formula. Matt's done 200, Andy's done 1100, Chris has done 600, Daz has done 170, Dan's done 500, Alex has done 1000, Mike's done 250, James has done 200, and he's got a penalty as well. So James has obviously been in the pits and crossed the white lines. He's come out, so he's going to get a bit of a stingy penalty there. And then Wayne has done the least mileage of all the drivers, only 90. So you can see there's quite a lot of different experience in these cars. Look at that classic shot. Chris goes round Dunlop with the fairground Ferris wheel in the background. Tyres starting to go. You see he's already lost a second in the first sector. Matt's still doing pretty consistent high 39s. I mean, he's only 3/10 down his fastest, so not losing out so much relative. And he's 40.6. Comes out the hairpin in 2nd. He can get his foot down that little bit earlier. Chris has got a bit of damage, so he's had another adventure. And Daz is certainly Daz is certainly staying in the hunt here. Obviously with the replays it's hard to tell the gaps, but he's certainly keeping himself well in for a shout of a podium. Dan's in 6th, being hunted down. Yeah, he's been hunted down, so both on the hards. Dan's has done a PB of a 41.9. You go through Spoon, and there comes the Tyrrell, chasing him down. Also on the hards. It'll be interesting how deep they go. If you look at the tyre wear, Dan's fronts look pretty good, whereas Alex, we'll keep an eye on that. So Alex's tyre wear is actually pretty evenly split, so he's obviously got the brake balance well sorted to and toe to give him the even wear, but his tyres are wearing quicker than Dan, so we'll keep an eye on that. That'll be pretty important when they go on the softer compound. So Chris is in, was in 4th. Let's see what he comes out on. So swapping off the mediums. Alex is in as well. He was on hard. Plenty of fuel going in, but he's filling it up. Alex, let's see what he does as well. Right, so Chris goes out on hards again. Interesting. He's he's doing 2 stints of hards. So is Alex. Interesting. Okay. No, Alex is on softs. Right, that's better. Whereas Chris is most definitely on hards. So I wonder if that's a game glitch, because sometimes that does happen. Got a bit of the PD shuffle. Whereas on Andy's replay, Alex is looking lovely and stable. Right, so James has come out on the hards. Yeah, he was on soft before. What's Wayne doing? Wayne's just done a PB on hards of a 42.6, so he's getting some pace now. Let's see how long he goes in. Half a tank of fuel left. So Chris continues. Matt has decided to pull the trigger. There you go. I told you so it's got my it's got the mechanic's livery, but not the car. Oh dear, I wonder if it's going to snap the livery on at the pit stop. Let's have a look. There you go, I'll just go to show. So the overall's livery work, but it's not the car. Right, so Matt's in. Oh, a short stop. Goes out on soft. Right, so Matt is going out for a soft run. Here comes Daz. So Matt gets the jump on Daz, so he's a pit stop ahead of Daz. There's Matt. So yeah, he's got quite a bit of clear air to him. So Matt is obviously going to do a 2-stop because he's not going to get softs to last. And also he's got to do a hard run, so he's either going to do a short soft stint and then a long hard, or maybe even 2 softs and a hard. So we'll keep an eye on that one. Andy's still going on these mediums, but he's probably not going to get much more out of it than that. Chris is still going. He's pushing the curves on the exit of Spoon. That could be fraught with danger there. So Chris will probably react to Matt, even though Matt was a little bit behind. You see, yeah, he's 1.4 down on this lap. So the mediums are starting to go. Let's see what Chris does. Will he come into the pits this lap, or will he do another one? Sounds like he's going in the pits. Yes, he is. Right, so Chris is in. Oh, so let's have a look at this. We've got a bit of a battle here. So this is Daz and Mike. So Chris is in. Here are his mediums. Daz is still on the hards, whereas Mike is on the mediums. So let's see what Mike can do as we come into 130R. It's a little bit adrift at the moment. Will Daz come in this lap? So Chris is, let's have a look. So Chris is in. Matt is now in the lead. Matt didn't stop for fuel, so Matt takes the lead. Chris has just come out. Daz has now got Mike right behind him. We go into turns 1 and 2, tricky corners. He got trail brake all the way through. See Mike showing us very nicely how to trail brake through turns 1 and 2. And we're going to follow him through these S's. Daz is hard, they're starting to give up a little bit, and Mike is struggling a little bit in the dirty air. Will he take Dunlop flat? Not quite. Tricky corner, that one. If you go off, there's no way back. Watch into deck the 2 we go. clips the curb nicely. That was a nice exit there. Watching Daz as we come into the hairpin. Goes him right up. Gets the apex. Let's go from the rear wing of the Jordan. This is probably the closest fight at the moment. It is. So, can Mike do anything as we come into Spoon? That'll be brave. A couple of quick shifts down there from Daz, then down to third. Oh, I thought Mike might take a run there, but Daz actually got a really nice exit. And Daz is actually on the overtake, trying to pull away a little bit as we come through 130R, which is easily flat in these cars. No problem at all. Now, Daz doing a nice job fending off Mike in the fresher, faster tyres. That is such a horrible view. It feels like nothing. Looks like Mike might have a run here. Here we go. He's in the toe. Is he going to make a move? I thought he might use the overtake. He's using the overtake. Daz tries to defend the inside, but Mike goes around the outside. I think he's done, but Daz is flying back. They're alongside each other. Look at that. Daz has managed to fend that one off. Let's watch that from outside. So we come into T1. Daz moves to defend the inside. Mike tries to sweep round the outside, but Daz keeps it in. Mike drifts a little bit wide, runs a bit onto the marbles. Daz just gives him a little love tap just to say, you stay out there. You're not coming past on this lap. So Daz doing a great job defending from Mike, who's certainly got the fresher tyres and mediums to boot. Right, Dan is in. Will he ditch the hards? He probably won't get mediums to the end, but let's see what he comes out on. And James as well, it's just blasted down the straight. So we got Braun on Braun here. Looks like Dan, he might do it. Yeah, he's just got in front. But Dan just leads his teammate. Not sure if these two are teammates in the championship. Let me check that one. The two Brauns now fighting it out. Well, let's double check the teams. Yes, they are. So they're both teammates as well as got the same livery, which would make sense. Right, so Dan is leading his teammate, James. Looks like James might have just gone off a little bit there because he's dropped off a bit. So, yeah, James unfortunately has a bit of a misdemeanor somewhere. He's on hards with front wing damage. Right, who was that coming? So Daz is in. Daz is finally in. Who's around him? So Mike now goes up to third. Mike's had a pit stop, but he's out of sync in terms of fuel. Daz is coming in. Where is Andy? Andy now jumps us as well. So Andy's on the hards, so he's using his mandatory hards up. Daz is fueling. And we got Chris and Alex having a battle now as well. So they both jumped Daz as well. So Daz is now down to 7th as he comes out on mediums. We got Chris and Alex. Chris is at 40.8, he's on hards as we said. And Alex is on softs and he's still at 38.6, but Matt has just done a 36.5, so low fuel on the softs. Just taken 2 seconds pretty much out of the fastest lap. So Matt is really pushing, trying to build a bit of a lead on Chris. Chris is on the hards. Chris is doing 39.4s. Matt did a 36.5. I think that might have had a bit of overtaking involved. But he's a couple of seconds quicker. Let's see what he does on this lap. So another 37.3. So approximately 2 seconds a lap faster. So can he get enough of a gap on Chris to make up a pit stop? Because Matt is certainly going to have to stop again. Keep an eye on that. So what we got going on between Chris? So Chris and Alex are locked in battle with Daz not that far behind them. So here goes the Tyrrell. Go on board as we go into 130R. Chris is on hards, whereas Alex is on the mediums. Chris defends the inside though. Does he get stopped for the triangle? Yes, he does. Who gets the power? So you can see Alex is on soft, but it's starting to wear a fair bit. Go down the pit straight into turns 1 and 2. Which is where the honeybees are now. Oh no, so easily done. Alex runs a little bit wide. I've just noticed actually, there looks like there's marbles on the tyres. If they go, they scrub off. Hey, hard to tell, I think they, no they don't, maybe not. See how accurate the game is, it looks like it's got marbles on the tyres, and I wonder if they take a few corners to get rid of and then the game shows they're off. But definitely smoother there. Interesting. Good detail in the game. Right. Sometimes I even bore myself. Right, so Matt is out front, pumping in those 37s, but the tyres are going to go pretty quickly. Chris has just done a 39.2, so his lap times are starting to come down. Matt's got a 1.4 second advantage, but he's got to pull a pretty big, I mean the stops are quick here, but he's got to pull a pretty sizable lead to make up at least one stop. There's Chris on his hards, he's doing a fine job as always. Mike is a nice third now, doing a 40.0. Andy is also on hard, so it's 41.4. So Mike has got, Mike is on medium, so that's still pretty good pace. And we're up to lap 17 already, so this has flown past. Right, Andy's in 4th. Let's see what's going on with Chris. So Chris has got that little bit of a gap now to Alex. Alex has got to be careful now, so he did a 43.0, that little off. Whereas Daz on his medium has just done his PB of a 39.7. So Daz is now starting to attack Alex and just done another PB as we go through sector 1. Got third of his overtake left, whereas Alex hasn't got much at all, less than a quarter. Chris hasn't used much of his at all. He's still got 7/8 left, so he's got plenty to either attack or defend with. Let's see what else. So Dan's just done his fastest, a 41.8. And he's got a bit of a gap now to James, who's going to need a stop pretty soon. And here comes Wayne, still on his hards. I think Wayne is persevering on his hards. He's just doing one hugely long stint on hards. Right, so out front, Matt's times are starting to go up now. As those fronts start, look at how committed they are through the first of the Degners. Absolutely flat out. I see Chris has gone on board. Chris is on the hard though, so I wouldn't have thought he'd be so committed, but he's on the overtake. Well, a bit of a lift, but on the hards, they're still pretty quick. Matt now comes approaching Spoon. Right on board with Matt. Braking after the 50, down to 4th. And down to 3rd, trying to get the nose in, hit the apex, and on the power as soon as you dare. I'll run to 130R. So let's have a look, see how far Matt is ahead of Chris. Matt is, oh I missed the split. I'll find somewhere suitable. In fact, why don't we do it at the line? That's a good place to do it. Alright, so Matt is coming across the line now, a little bit of overtake. Goes across the line, 30.10 on the timer. Let's see what Chris does. So about a 14-15 second lead, so the stops are fast, but I don't think they're that fast, but let's see how this plays out. What's going on between, so it's Chris being caught by Alex. Alex did a 40.1, Chris did a 40.6, and Daz 39.7, so you've got the lovely situation where third is being caught by 4th, who's being caught by 5th. Net anyway. So this is probably a battle for possibly 3rd. Well, Andy's doing a good job, so Andy's probably a net third at the moment. Let's have a look. So yeah, I think he is. He's a net third because Mike has to have another stop. So Mike has run his his hards. So he's probably trying to get those mediums, maybe to use softs for the last stint. Andy's on his hards as well. Although, yeah, so is Andy going to go? Andy probably needs to stop as well, to be honest. So, I don't know, actually, Mike has done a good middle stint here. He's put himself in contention, so... Where's Mike in comparison? So, yeah, I think... Oh, Matt's in, right. So, Matt has decided to come in. His softs were looking pretty done. I think he got 8 or 9 laps out of them. Then comes to Leighton House. Chris is through. Got half a tank of fuel left, so he could maybe go to the end on that. Matt is still in, so Matt is tanking up for the end. And Matt is doing a soft run again. So Matt has decided to do an extra stop. He's doing 2 stints of softs, whereas Chris is on the hards with enough fuel to go to the end. So Chris is effectively one stopping, not touching the softs, doing a medium and a hard stint. Matt has decided to 3 stop because he hasn't used the hards yet. So Matt is going to hope that he can make up enough time on Chris, pass him, and then do a 1 lap special maybe on the hard. So pit stops say are very quick here. We'll keep an eye on that one. So Mike is coming pretty much to the end of his mediums. Let's see what's going on with Andy. Andy's in a bit of free space. Chris, oh, Daz has got past. Now, how long ago was that? Where are we? 28, 33. Oh, that was a long time ago. Let's watch that. Oh, Alex just goes a little bit wide out deck now. Super easy to do, and Daz is passed. Right, Alex has decided to get rid of those set of tyres. His fronts were looking not very good at all, particularly that left front, absolutely hammered. So he's put another set of softs on, so it looks like he's mirroring Matt's strategy pretty much. Going for another set of softs. Dan getting some speed out of mediums now. He's 40.4. He's got a good distance to James now, who's about to get lapped, and here comes Wayne, who's about to get lapped by Chris, I think. He's also cut off the white line on the exit pits as well. Or entry, could be the entry, but more than probably the exit. Right, there's Little's GP, is still doing low 39s. Let's see what Matt does as he comes across the line. So this is an out lap. Let's see how much that pit stop lost him. Hard to tell. About 15, 16 seconds, but there was fuel in that. Mike's in. So Mike will probably go on to a set of softs. Hopefully he's not in reverse. So Chris is a little bit way behind. He's now got Daz catching him quite well. Daz has caught him. So Daz is doing high 39s. Chris is doing 41. So Daz looks like he's shaping up to make a move, and they both passed Mike. Mike's still in the pits. Daz going to make a move into turn 1. No, nothing goes. So Mike is out on soft. So Mike is not that far behind. So we've got a battle here, 4th, 5th and 6th and 7th, whereas so Alex isn't that far behind either. So Chris is on the hards, he's going to the end. Look at that shot, they go screaming through Dunlop. Daz is on the mediums. Oh, he's really closing up on Chris now. Let's go on board. Actually, let's have a watch from the back of the Williams. We go into the hairpin. Oh, Daz is trying to make a move around the other side. Is he going to get a cut back? No, Chris does a nice job covering that off. We go along the sweeping right kinks as we head into Spoon. Dad's going to make a move as we go into Spoon. No, he doesn't. We're going to get a nice run out of Spoon. Bit of overtake there. He goes. Here goes the overtake. We go past the Williams, and there goes the Jordan. As Chris now going to try and tuck into the toe and try and get a move back as we go through 130R. He's going to make a move on the brakes, but Daz all covers it off nicely. Both managed to get the apex. A nice move by Daz. I think that Daz will be gone now. Oh, Chris has decided to go in. He's obviously thought, I need to get rid of these hards, and that puts Mike up into 5th. And Mike's on the softs as well, so Alex is not that far. Actually, no, that was someone being lapped. So Chris is in. Splash and dash this will be. Oh, no, he's put, yeah, really was a splash and dash. Put a little bit of fuel in. Probably didn't need that. So Alex is now up to 6th. Chris comes out on softs. So Alex is on softs. Mike's on softs. Daz is on mediums. What's Andy doing up front? Andy's doing okay on his hards. Let's have a look at Matt. Matt's doing 37. He's out lap. Half second down this fastest. Chris is doing 39. So Matt is catching Chris at 2 seconds a lap. He's not that far behind him. But Chris has just crossed the line. But Matt has got to try and make up that gap. Add some to it as he goes past before a stop. So Matt is definitely closing, but unfortunately I think he's got a stop to come. He hasn't run the hards yet. So Chris is looking pretty, as long as he doesn't make any mistakes, which would be very unlike him. Through Dunlop we go. Into Degner 1. Degner 2. And here comes Matt. Let's go forward with Matt as we go through Degner 1. Absolutely flat out, look at that. And a quick dab of the brakes as we go down into Degner 2. And Matt's purple. So he's certainly pushing hard. He's 3/10 up on that first split. Change up early to get the drive out. We go into Spoon. Riding from the Halo. See how late they brake as they go into Spoon and run on the outside of the curb, trying to get it to the inside curb. Oh yeah, see Matt was missed the apex a fraction there. I mean, it was a bit slow getting on the power. He's almost out of overtake as well. Yeah, so he lost a couple of attempts there. He's doing his best to try and chase Chris down. Chris comes across the line now, end of lap 23, so 5 to go. Still got some overtake left. 39.3. Let's see what Matt does. 37.0, so he's still closing 2 seconds a lap, but I think we're going to run out of laps. Andy is still in 3rd, doing a lovely job. Let's see what Daz has got. So Daz has got Mike now right behind him. So Mike is flying in on his softs. Daz has just done his fastest, a 39.4. And Mike is right behind him as we come into 130 yards. I've got to try around the outside again. He takes the escape road. Oh, the huge shunt for Mike. Oh, so unlucky. He was trying to go around the outside. And he's got a fair gap to Alex. Oh, that was so unlucky from Mike. I think, unfortunately, Mike, that's worthy of a replay. Let's go on board with Mike. He's got the trying to do the overcut as we go through. Just done his PB of a 37.7 and gets it on the. Just got on the AstroTurf, keeping it flat. And look at that huge shunt. Gets it back on the track nicely though. Somehow lights up the fronts, which is weird. I didn't realise these cars were front four-wheel drive, but there you go. Right, so Alex into the chicane he goes in 6th. Chris is now down to 7th. I think he's going to do well to catch up to 6th now. Dan is still at the lead, Braun. There's James in his other Braun in 9th, and then Wayne is still hanging on, just done his PB actually, 40.5, so pretty competitive lap time on mediums. Meanwhile, Chris still leading. Still doing 39.3, Matt's a 37.0, so Matt is still coming at him at 2 seconds a lap. But I say he's got to stop on hards. Don't think the 3 stops going to work out. It's just cost 2. The softs were not quick enough to. Oh, he's gone a little bit wide, pushing really hard. I think Chris has got this one. So Andy had a pretty lonely race actually, just tooting along on his hards. In a very nice 3rd, and Daz now is in a clear 4th. And what have we got here? We have it's been lapped. So Wayne's been lapped by Alex. There's Chris a little bit behind. So I think everyone's getting a little spread out now. Yeah, I think everyone's a little bit spread out. So Wayne, as to say, he's just done his PB at 40.5, so he's got decent pace. Whereas Chris must be praying that Matt is going to stop. But we know Matt has to stop because he's got hards to go. So he's getting close, but there's a stop in there. Will he come out against Andy? Andy's going through the S's. Matt is going through Spoon, so I think Matt will be safe. Yeah, he's got plenty of time to Andy. I think Matt will be safe in 2nd. Is there anything going on here? So Daz just done 40.5. Mike's at 39.3. So he's a 2nd a lap faster than Daz. Daz's tyres are starting to run out, which Mike's looking pretty good. But I don't think it's going to be enough. He's on a PB. 2 tenths up on his 1st sector. Can he close that gap down? It's not that far, it's not a huge gap, has to be said. Let's see if we can find a spot to time them. Right, oh no, we just flicked a Mike, he's got off the Spoon, so pushing really hard to try and catch him. That's going to give Alex some interest as well. So Alex has come out of Spoon. You see Mike just recovering. He's going to try and get a run. Mike's getting back up to speed. Alex is on the overtake. Mike's got it covered to 130. Oh yeah, that's not a place to. So Mike, luckily for him, he just got it up to speed enough to be able to get 130R covered off. But he's got muck and stuff all over his tyres. Alex is going to take a run, he's got him. Can Mike get us back? There he goes. We go side by side into turn 1. Alex takes the line as we go into 130. Oh, Mike is flirting with danger. Flirting with danger as we go through the first couple of corners. Probably still suffering a little bit from that off. The tyres tend to stay rusty for a good half a lap before they clean up. Right, still time though, he can still regroup and get a 5th back, he's got the post. Alright, let's see what's going on. Matt did a 30.0, so his tyre's starting to go and his fuel is lit up, so Matt will be in. Oh no, so he's doing one more lap, look, so literally he's going to do 1 lap. So Chris is just going to turn 1 and 2. Matt's just approaching it. It looks like Matt had a bit of a skirmish with Degner. Dropped 6 seconds on that previous lap, so I think that's his challenge done. Pushing hard to catch Chris, but I think that's it. So Chris is going to be just going to stroke it home now. Penultimate lap. Andy's done a fine job in 3rd. Not been too adventurous, stayed on the track, and he's going to get a 3rd as a result. So there's Daz. What's he doing? His tyres are looking a little bit worn. He's got another 2 laps to go yet, so that left rear is looking not great, and he's just dropped 4 seconds off his PB. But Alex, I think, is a bit too far behind. And what have we got here? We got Mike. Oh, Mike's been passed by Chris. So Mike, unfortunately, that was not a great lap at all. He's now been passed by Chris. Chris is now getting low 38 out of his soft. 39.9. So he did a 38.1 as a PB. Mike's done a 37.7, but obviously the tyres are wearing. But Mike's got the pace to catch that back up again. Let's see what happens there. Dan, we've got a battle going on now. Dan crosses the line. A nice big gap to his teammate. He's just come around Spoon. Have we got anyone else close on the track? So Chris comes into the final lap. You see Matty's coming in for the pits. So we thought it was in a last lap wonder on these hards. So that comfortably gives Chris the lead. Now where is Andy? Andy's coming out of Spoon, so I don't think there's any worry there for Matt. This will be a literally a splash and dash, and so it is. Finally goes on to hards, right? So he's one lap on the hards, and he's just not even the chicane yet. So plenty in hand there for Matt, as long as he doesn't throw it off the track on his hards. Whereas Chris is now coming through the kink into the hairpin. Let's see if anything else is going on. Andy's got a nice... Actually, Andy and Daz, look at this. So actually, it's me saying Andy had a nice, comfortable third. Daz has been... Oh, Andy had an off. That's why. Andy had an off. So Andy's dropped 6 seconds. That's woken Daz up massively. Right, let's see where Chris is. Right, it's just coming through Spoon. Anything else going on? There's Alex, who's being caught by Chris quite quickly as well. So... Interestingly, this is all coming to a final lap showdown. We'll keep an eye on that. So Chris is now coming through 130. Got into the lead, and I don't think there's much doubt. Matt probably worried him a little bit, but he always had a stop in his pocket advantage. So Chris comes across the line, finishes season 7 with a bang, wins again. So Chris, brilliant win for him. Matt's a little bit far behind, so let's have a look. Andy's coming out the hairpin, so it's Daz. I think Andy's going to hang on. What can Daz do? His medium's looking pretty worn. Alex is there, so Matt is going to come across the line now. Comes across through the chicane to finish second, so second in championship, second in the final race. Good result there for Matt. Let's just watch him come across the line on the overtake as he finishes. Here comes Andy. Probably a bit closer than he wanted that final lap, but he looks like he's pretty much safe. Let's see as he goes into the chicane for the last time. Yeah, he's got a little bit of a gap to Daz as Daz comes through. But Andy comes across the line for a very well-deserved third to round off the season. Little wiggle. Nice fourth from Daz. Now Alex coming across in fifth. See, third, fourth, fifth and sixth. Chris finished with a good sixth, so they were really close. And Mike comes across in 7th as well. So, a nice 7th for Mike. We've got James has finished... Where's Dan? He's got a bit closer. So James has finished 9th and Wayne has finished 10th. So we're just going to watch Dan as he comes across the line. To bring the Brawn home in 8th place. So well done to all the drivers for finishing, because this is the tough one. Comes across the line and finishes. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Can I take a photo of that? Oh, yes I can. Let's just watch. Look at that. Lovely, lovely, lovely. There we go. Right, let's finish on James crossing the line. There you go, James. You can take a picture of that. Right, so that was the finale of round of season 7 of DTCC, fittingly won by the 7th-time world champion. He hasn't lost one yet. Chris winning in his Williams, and second in the championship. The second on the road was Matt in his, I promise you, Leighton House. Then Andy finishing 3rd. Nice result for him. Podium to finish the season. Daz a fighting 4th. Looked good for a while there, but a good 4th place from the Jordan driver. Then that's a good shot. That's much better. Alex in his Tyrrell finishing 5th, and Chris in his Williams 6th. Mike in his Arrows 7th. Dan in his brawn, sorry, it's Dan, not James. Dan in his brawn was 8th, James 9th in his brawn, and then 10th was Wayne. So that was the Season 7, Round 8. Season 8 will be kicking off in January. Format TBE, 8 rounds currently planned, but we might go to 10 and include the new snow track at Lake Louise that the game's just brought in. But that'll be a very similar format of Group 3s, Group 4s with a couple of specials thrown in. So that will be kicking off in January. So if you're interested in joining, come and say hello in Discord and stick your name down. I think we've got 3 places left, so that's shaping up to be a really good grid. So thank you for watching if you watched the previous 7 rounds, and we will see you on the grid in January. See you then.